You had time at some point to share what you love about nature.
Oh, jeez.
Not good time?
Uh,
I know you're working and you're closing and everything.
yeah. Oh, no, it's just a difficult question.
Oh, right. It's so whole. It's so it's
yeah.
all encompassing,
Right.
all inclusive.
Yeah.
So you would say like your whole life you've loved nature. And the relationship has been growing over the years?
Yeah. I mean, even as a little kid, I was always enthralled with insects and animals and things like that, and the interconnection between all of it. It's just, it's pretty amazing. I even went to school later on when I was back in '96. That's what got me in this area. I went back to school for ecology and environmental technology.
Paul Smith?
Paul Smith.
Oh, my very close friend Andy Bernstein went to Paul Smith for forestry.
Yeah, I went for the EET program.
Yeah, so you are, and you told me earlier how much you love the Barrier Beach.
Yeah.
And when you were telling me that, I was picking it up. And I told you earlier about the project. I have a QR code on here. If you want to scan it later, you can check it out. But you know, so I'm fishing, but I'm fishing for love of nature. I'm fishing for love, and it's pretty incredible the stories I get. And I really haven't delved into the inner city parks yet, which is what's next, Prospect Park and inner. And I've got some amazing feedback from the little bit like, so what's your most memorable thing in nature? Baseball. And and I'm learning to keep my mouth shut. And okay, so outdoors, yeah. On the grass, yeah. Saw some dandelions, yeah. You weren't that much into baseball, yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So like you and I might think of something grand, canyon, this place, high peaks. Yeah. So what I wanted, do you have a minute?
Sure.
So the next, because I want to jump ahead with you. So the next thing is like, so the question of your relationship has been growing over the years?
Yeah.
So what so that means, so I think love is an ability, so you can get good at, you can improve your game. So are there little things that you say that you've thought of that make you more connected? Like my example is like, I just touched the milkweed seed. I'll look up every once in a while. I'll try to remember to look up, you know, a lot of times I'm in cityscapes and, you know, it'll blow your mind. So the things, anything like that you could say is keeping you, or you're always you're like in a meditative state?
When I was younger, I went to a Catholic school, Catholic grammar school, Catholic high school.
Okay.
That's got a lot to do with it.
Okay.
I think religion and
God created the earth.
That whole thing, yeah.
And you protect what God makes.
And I always look at the same things and I'm like, boy, that's beautiful. I'm like, well, it couldn't just be
an accident.
An accident. It couldn't just be
a series of accidents, even better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and that a lot of people believe. You know,
yeah, they have that,
and that's okay.
It's a twist on evolution.
But they believe a series of gases got together. There was this big bang, and it just happened. You know, it just happened that one of 100 trillion that just happened this way. And okay, that's fine, but why not take it that whole step further and just say maybe it was meant to happen, maybe it was planned. Yeah,
the Big Bang. Like I've always been able to see when someone talks to me about religion and science, I don't see a big difference between the two.
No,
because they're trying to find God. I mean, they call it the God particle, what they're doing with the collider.
Right.
That's not, you know, a coincidence. They know to them it's a huge unknown. To spiritual people, it's a huge unknown.
Right.
So there's this commonality.
So until I got older.
Okay.
Just now, within the past maybe 15 years or so,
okay,
I'm starting to
feel more.
Yeah. And I think that happens with a lot of people.
Kinship. Yeah, you're looking for answers, right?
And you're not as, you know, you're more fallible. You're not.
Oh, mortality.
You're not a young kid.
Right. Mortality is more of a clear player.
Right.
Yeah.
So things become a little. You kind of calm down a little and step back and say maybe, maybe there's a lot, there's got to be a lot more.
You become more contemplative.
Right.
Yeah, and this is the place. I mean, do you consider yourself a meditator?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't meditate. I have a lot of time to myself.
Right.
Like, I have a lot of time to think.
Okay.
But yeah, I always appreciate being outside. I could never do the office thing. I've tried it. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah, I can't be indoors either. I mean, yeah, I really try my best to work outside, like I told you, at the beach with my Jeep.
Yeah.
Most people love nature. Then the next step would be like, I would really want to spend a certain amount of time of it protecting it.
You would think so.
So where do you think that, I have a couple of things, like I always thought like maybe, because we have the fear of nature.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we can be eaten, and that kind of like hurts the Eden idea.
Right.
Eden. And so if, we love it, but we're afraid of it, and deep down we're really afraid of it,
Yeah.
Because of what we, had to survive to get to this point with the critters.
Sure.
Do you think that fear maybe holds us back from really saying, oh, we got to really get into doing much better with this?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it plays a part. I really don't think
Okay.
it plays any part,
All right.
personally.
So what do you think? What do you think the disconnect might be?
Comfort.
Comfort.
People's they're used to running water in their house now.
Yeah.
They're used to plumbing.
Right.
Creature comforts.
Yeah.
I think is what.
Right, and that's taking its toll on the planet.
Yeah.
Right. So the technology that we had to this point is understandable. You use it, right?
Sure.
If you can afford it, you use it, and there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. All right. So the next thing I would say is, so you can have all those creature comforts, but why do you disconnect from maybe, touching a tree, like focusing at a tree, like getting a little bit more connected to what's left?
Maybe because it's taken for granted.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. People don't have.
You don't think?
Especially with social media today.
Yeah.
People are so wrapped up in
So it's
themselves.
taken for granted.
And I think today's society, it's all about me. It's not even about.
But me could be pleasured in this, right? Like me could
absolutely.
be, me is pleasured here.
Yeah. But it's different though. It's not.
It's like they don't see it.
No, they don't see it because they're. I think people have reverted back to teenagers in high school when they're always worried about what these other people
what
are
we look
doing,
like, what they're
what the
saying,
Joneses have, what these people have.
who's saying what about me.
And there's more of it. People are bombarded with it. That's why I'm not on Twitter. I don't
Yeah,
do
no,
any of that stuff.
bombarded is the right word, because then you can't really see out the window.
You can't focus.
You can't see out the window even.
No, you can't focus. People aren't as happy, and when you're not as happy, you're trying to figure out. You're not trying to figure out why you're unhappy. You're just trying to.
Yeah, trying
to fill the void.
Make it better somehow, and
you're not,
you
you're
keep
not able
doing.
to enjoy things. You're not able to smell the roses, as they say.
You keep doing the same thing.
Right. I think a lot of it started with social media.
Yeah, it accelerated it.
Destroyed.
It's accelerated what we're talking about.
Place.
Yeah. Because like if you're really dialed into this, you can't take it for granted because it's always changing. Right, you said that too. It's like, so it's all interconnected, and like we just sitting on Racket River, the boat launch. We just put out 2 chairs there and just watched the water go by slowly. That spot, and we're like, the breeze was changing. It was changing the way the ripples were, and then the way the sunlight was hitting it, and all those little diamonds popping or not popping. So if you're focusing, man, you really, it's hard to take it for granted. So I guess it's that like. It's almost like a superstar in that culture world, or more than one, has to really like lay it out there why this is shouldn't be missed. Like Mars, we would have to be in a suit inside a thing, and if one of those things go wrong, it's game over and you're not going outdoors. This is the planet with all this stuff.
Yeah. Every day's a show.
Every day is a show.
Spectacular.
Spectacular show.
It really is.
Oh, how's that for a show?
Yeah. all the little things.
His tail.
And then you get basically a fireworks show at the end of the day with the sunset,
Right.
depending on the day. But
Yeah.
it's just
Well, last night it was pretty bright up there.
and then you get the sky at night. It's just
Oh, that's what I was talking about. Oh, you talking about the sunset?
Sunsets,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the sunrise. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know,
Sunrise, sunset.
it's just everything. It's just,
So it's inconvenient to do a sunrise or a sunset. I do them, and I'll tweet like, it's worth coming to a sunset and the picture of the sunset, and it's like seared. Like, how could that be? Like, this is my 10 millionth sunset. It seems like, and it's still so special.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
Is this your guy?
That's his buddy. Yeah.
Buddy is like, where's my buddy?
Never lets me out of his sight. Ever.
Yeah, I said I got to come back here. Like maybe at the end of the day, it's a little lighter. I'm glad I came back. I really love what you have to say.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
And I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for a dialogue. Because I'll ask people. Well, I'll ask you. So, has anyone ever asked you in your life, what do you love about nature?
I don't.
That specific question?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
They have.
probably not then.
Yeah.
So I want that question to be like a thing we could ask each other. That's one of the goals, besides doing the paradise in the mall parking lot.
Right.
But I think that, because I want to do whatever it's...
Broad. It's a very big question.
Which one?
What do you love about nature?
Yeah, but it gets the conversation going.
Sure.
Well, you said it's very hard to answer that. And since we're talking, you've answered it, I'd say at least 24 ways already. More. 24 to 34 ways.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And I'll get like so this facet of the project is called Wandering with Strangers, right? So, we're seemingly strangers, but when it comes to this subject, we're all natives. So it's like this. I think of it like the blue-green soul that we all have, and that's very hard to argue that we don't have a blue-green soul.
Right.
So we all share the blue-green soul. We have other souls, I'm sure, like infinite numbers, but these are the two I'm talking about. So I'll walk up to some people that don't look, on their surface, their stranger surface, look like they don't want to be asked anything from anybody, especially a stranger with a gold backpack, right?
Yeah.
And so far, they don't want it to end. All right, man.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
It's really great. Thank you.
Check out your site.
Yeah, check out the site when you get a chance. I'll have this up, like, I'm not good at that part yet, the editing and whatnot, but I'll have it up there, and I'm making sure everyone's as flattering. This is all about no gotcha stuff.
Okay.
This is all about, like, what we're doing.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty clear what we're doing here. I think and I'm a persistent person, so I'll stop making phone calls to who I'm calling the queen bees. I'm going to call them all, man, from Elon Musk and Gwyneth Paltrow, whoever's got money and wants to do something great for nature, for the environment.
Yeah. You hit up Kanye West. He's a
Kanye.
people's
Hey,
thinker.
Kanye. Oh yeah, man. Kanye. That guy's not brilliant. Tell me about it. He's brilliant in a very specific way.
He is.
No. I'm gonna.
He's got a unique way.
He's a queen bee, and he's a total queen bee.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have honeybees on the property?
You know what? I haven't seen many. This
Okay.
year. And they're having a tough time.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
Even the bats. We had
Yeah, I just saw David Attenborough's latest, and it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Let's save some of it. That's what I love about this place. It's one of the success stories. Sitting at the river today, I said to my wife, there's no way I could be this comfortable south of whatever line that is where the alligators are.
Yeah.
Sitting by the water. Close your eyes, sitting by the water.
Yeah. No,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't. She told me you started snoring. I go, yeah, I can only do that here.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it either. My girlfriend always asks me, she goes, well, if we move down south, no alligators. She said, okay.
How do you do that?
The ocean, stay by the ocean.
Oh, right, the ocean. A couple of people got eaten while we were down. My wife's family is in Bluffton, just north of Savannah, in South Carolina. And, they have big storms, they order all that development, they get relocated, they're disoriented, these critters, and they're big and strong. And this one woman the gator snapped on her dog, and she pulled the dog out of the gator's mouth, and then you know what happened.
Yeah.
She got killed. Imagine she pulled the food out of his mouth. It's just a horrific environmental story. So that fear, the fear plays a factor. I'm not sure what it is yet. Yeah, it does, because it's real. You know, this thing could kill us. I mean, at the end of the day, it does. It's the plan, but
You think
prematurely.
It keeps people from conservation?
I think it keeps them at a distance. So that, you know, one of the,
You mean hands-on?
yeah, well, something even, not even just hands-on, but like just really gung-ho about it. Like, would never put up with somebody that wasn't, you know, doing something right for the environment. Maybe just like making sure that, you know, recycling is over, it's all now reuse. You know, like keep taking lawn away and making it natural, like a prairie, whatever you can do, you know. Turn the lights on, get you know, work on just the little things. And if you could afford solar, you could afford a battery car, you know, put your money in companies that are, you know, the whole, a real movement. So
I think a lot of the stuff that's keeping solar and wind at bay is the technology. I don't think the technology's there yet.
well, this is one of the reasons why Elon Musk is the only person I follow on social media.
Yeah.
He really is putting brains on that problem.
Because I think everybody wants it. I think both sides of the aisle want it.
Are you familiar with what he does?
I'm not 100%.
So real quick, so his company Tesla that makes the cars also makes solar panels for roofs and battery packs, and in a big way. So his mission is to reduce the carbon use by power and car. And he's made a lot of progress in the last like 3 years. And I've been following him for like 7 years. So he's this brilliant guy that is trying to do something good. So I found it very unique. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's also got SpaceX.
And SpaceX, so that could have negative. Yeah. That's not all environmentally good stuff.
Oh, no, it's not.
But
it might be kind of neat to see people on
Mars.
Mars.
I'm rooting for him. I mean, there's no question about it. And one of his main projects, and it would affect places like this, is he's putting up satellites in low orbit, so internet access is going to be available to everyone in remote.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So that's part of SpaceX, right? What's up, buddy boy? SpaceX, man. It's amazing how brilliant he is. It's really cool. It's like, that's why I follow him. It's like if you could have followed Da Vinci's every idea,
right.
You know, and Da Vinci was actually bringing this stuff to market. That's what he's doing, you know. And the amazing power is all the brilliant engineers in the world want to work with him. So that's why he's making all this progress with electric motors and batteries. He just had his battery day and explaining where they're going with batteries. And Wall Street now gets it, but I'm just, you know, I pray that he keeps living and stays on the right path. That's the kind of guys like that, you know, people like that, like this guy. You know, that's another reason I had to come back here. I'm like, it is too weird with the John Brown thing, man. Like, here's a guy that really just said, I'm going to get this very difficult thing moving.
Yeah, and that's really what he did.
I said, so let me get this straight. Like, he thought it was wrong, and then he put everything on the line to try to solve it. He said, yes. Can't say that about a lot of people.
No.